The research facility on Keeler, 12 was a marvel of xenobiological engineering. Dr. Shanterex and his team of 12 Kalari scientists had spent decades studying alien physiology, collecting specimens from across the galaxy. They considered themselves the foremost experts in comparative biology. When they captured a human from a cargo vessel, they believed they had finally obtained the most interesting subject yet. The human was a merchant captain named Marcus Webb, 38 standard years old, unremarkable in appearance. The Kalari sedated him and placed him in a specialized containment chamber designed to study his biology in controlled conditions. That was the first mistake. Marcus woke to find himself suspended in a transparent gel matrix, surrounded by monitoring equipment and curious alien faces. He remained calm. He had survived worse: shipwrecks, pirate attacks, hostile negotiations on a dozen frontier worlds. He assessed the situation methodically. The Kalari began their experiments within hours. They took tissue samples, analyzed his blood chemistry, studied his neurological patterns. They were fascinated by his metabolism, how his body could process such a wide variety of nutrients, how quickly his immune system adapted to new pathogens. They documented how his muscle fibers regenerated faster than they had anticipated, how his bone density remained stable under varying gravity conditions. "Remarkable," Dr. Shanterex murmured, reviewing the data. "The species is far more adaptive than theoretical models suggested." But the real problem began when they tested his pain tolerance. Marcus had trained for years in survival techniques. He had learned to compartmentalize pain, to breathe through it, to use it as information rather than a deterrent. When the Kalari applied graduated electrical stimulation to measure his threshold, they discovered something they hadn't anticipated: humans didn't break. They adapted. They applied increasing voltage, expecting to find a point where the subject would become non-responsive. Instead, Marcus's nervous system began compensating, his brain releasing endorphins that built tolerance to the stimulus. After 18 hours of testing, Dr. Shanterex realized they had barely scratched the surface of human pain tolerance. "Increase the intensity," he commanded. "We need to find the limit." That was the second mistake. Marcus understood what they were doing. He understood they were searching for weakness, for a breaking point. He also understood that humans had one advantage over most species: psychological resilience born from a lifetime of overcoming adversity. He had buried the fear, channeled it into observation. Every test taught him something about his captors, about the facility, about the patterns of their routines. By the 5th day of experimentation, the Kalari had expanded their testing to include psychological stress. They placed him in sensory deprivation. They subjected him to simulated threats. They attempted to induce panic through various stimuli. Nothing worked. Marcus remained eerily calm through every ordeal, his mind analyzing rather than breaking. The Kalari found it deeply unsettling. On the 7th day, something shifted. One of the junior scientists, Dr. Velmoth, made an observation: "He's not breaking because he's not trying to survive the pain. He's observing it. Learning from it. It's as if suffering is simply data to him." Dr. Shanterex finally understood the horror of what they had captured. Humans, they realized, were creatures born from a world that had tried to kill them every single day. They had evolved not just physically, but psychologically, to treat trauma as information, to transform suffering into knowledge, to remain functional even when every nerve screamed otherwise. They were creatures designed by their very environment to endure the unsurvivable. "What have we done?" Dr. Shanterex whispered, reviewing the accumulated data. The human had revealed nothing, broken nothing, surrendered nothing. He had simply become more efficient with each test, learning the facility systems, understanding the Kalari physiology better with every interaction. On the 8th day, alarms sounded throughout the facility. Marcus had somehow bypassed the gel matrix containment, the exact mechanism remained unclear, and was systematically disabling the security protocols from the laboratory's central terminal. He moved with purpose, with knowledge he shouldn't have possessed, with the calculated precision of someone who had spent a week studying his environment and his captors. Dr. Shanterix found himself face to face with the human, who had not raised a hand in violence but simply stood between them and the exit. "Please," the Kalari doctor begged, his skin fading to a terrified pale blue. "We were just studying you. We meant no harm." Marcus's expression remained neutral. "You studied me to find my limits. To find my breaking point." He paused. "But here's what you didn't understand, humans don't have breaking points. We have transformation points. Every pain makes us stronger. Every test makes us sharper. Every attempt to break us just teaches us how to break everything else." He stepped aside, gesturing toward the exit. "I could destroy this facility. I could end your research permanently. Instead, I'm leaving. But let this be your data: never study a human to find weakness. We don't have any." The Kalari scientists watched in stunned silence as Marcus walked out of the facility, commandeering a shuttle and disappearing into space. Dr. Shanterix's final log entry was simple: humans are not a species to be studied. They are a species to be feared. Word spread through the scientific community. The Kalari's research became a cautionary tale. And somewhere in the galaxy, Marcus Webb returned to his merchant vessel, carrying secrets that would ensure humanity's reputation as the most resilient species ever encountered. Kindly like this story, drop your comment and subscribe channel. Thank you.